my wife keeps telling me something. In this moment, I just want to be understood. I see a lot of memes out there that you can never understand a woman. That is true.
Yeah.
But you should try and understand her in various contexts. Men, we try to be too manly a lot of times. Sometimes you just need to be a bit calm. You just need to try and understand her in that situation. So if you are a bully, it's not going to work.
Okay.
You understand? Especially because of how I see marriage. I see it as a partnership. So in a partnership, I don't have to necessarily take her as someone I need to push around. I see her as my little sister or even my daughter sometimes. And I try to baby her.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on Beyond the Surface podcast. My name is Enoch and I am your host. I hope you watch our previous episode. If you haven't, please make sure you check out our episode, put in your comment, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Now, today, under our love, relationship, and marriage episode, we're going to talk about before you ask her to be your wife, the very things that you need to look out for. You know, here on this series, we make sure we have conversations that would influence your decision in choosing your partner. And if you're already married, we're going to give you the right information that you need to make your marriage a successful one. So be sure to watch the interview to the end, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and put in your comment section. Now, to do this with me, Ezebo, he's going to share, he's a married man, he's going to share his experience before marriage, after marriage, the things you need to look out for before you ask her to be your wife. So welcome, Ebo.
Thank you very much.
Right. Let's start from the beginning. Single man, now married. How has it been?
Well, it's been a mixture of things, but mostly positive. Of course, when I was single, I had a lot of freedom.
Right.
Yeah, to put into context, I mean, we were very close friends before we even decided to start going out, and then it led to marriage. And during those times, I mean, when I go out, she would call to find out where I was, what was going on, and even she would ensure that I don't get home too late. But now that we are married, she'd do all the calls and then I go and meet her at home. So it gives it a different dynamic. Yeah.
Okay.
And especially because of the festive season, my work is such that I had a lot of back-to-back and I was going home very late and all that. And I mean, she was very supportive, but at the same time, she was very concerned because I get home late during the weekends too. I'm not available, quite busy and all. But I mean, generally, it's been fine. Generally, it's been an exciting journey, especially because we were very close friends before we even started dating.
Fantastic.
In my former workplace, she needed some help, which I was available to provide her. And because I'm someone who doesn't like to take advantage of situations.
Right.
So I wasn't reaching out to her.
Okay.
Most of the time, she was the one reaching out.
But you liked?
In the beginning, not so much.
Okay.
But I mean, when she kept coming back, I was like, okay, maybe, I mean, there's something I can try. So we just kept talking. She had to go to Nigeria for a training program. And that is where everything started for us. In Nigeria, she had to be studying a lot. So in the night when she was studying, I'll be on phone, Charlie. The next morning I had to go to work, but I'll be on phone till like 1 a.m. just so she studies, keeping her company.
Right.
And she'll go to bed. I can also go to bed. I wake up at 5 a.m. ready for work. And then the cycle continued. She came back to Ghana most times, video calls, all those kind of things. Yeah, and it just built the bond so much. And she still makes reference to that. It means that period was a very good period for us and it built us so much. So now when we are home and there is nothing to do, we just talk like we are friends. Yeah. It's been very interesting.
That's amazing. I mean, it's good to hear a man talk about how good man is. Going on social media, we see how men are, saying how bad, don't marry you, keep your money. But I mean, over here we're saying, and that's a good one. Now, for you, what did marriage mean to you beyond the wedding? What did it mean to you?
It meant two things, purpose and partnership.
Okay.
You can't live alone as a man. At a point, you need to get a companion at a point. I mean, even when God created the world, Adam was alone. All right. God realized that Adam was alone and he needed to create a companion for him. Yeah. So I knew that at a point I needed to make that decision. Yes. And then when it comes to purpose, even when I was younger, I kept telling myself that I wasn't going to get into marriage for the sake of it. I was going to get into marriage with someone I was going to build something with, someone who understood where I wanted to go and was willing to support me. And not just willing to support me, someone I could also support. Yeah. It means that person should also carry a vision. And when I met her and I wasn't going around chasing vision, but I met vision in the way. Yeah. It was amazing. For me, marriage has meant two things, like I said, purpose and partnership. And so far, so good.
Fantastic. Now, what do you think? Let's get into the men's perspective before we get into the men. What do you think a man should, the values a man should have before the man decides that I even want to ask a lady out to be my wife?
Okay. Patience is number one. You need to be willing to understand who she is. I see a lot of memes out there that you can never understand a woman.
A woman.
That is true. Yeah. But you should try and understand her in various contexts. Sometimes I see that men, we try to be too manly a lot of times. Sometimes you just need to be a bit calm. You just need to try and understand her in that situation.
Right.
So my wife keeps telling me something. In this moment, I just want to be understood. Right. Sometimes I don't know what it means, but I know that when she says that, she just needs me to calm down and listen to her. That's it. You get it. Okay. So you just need to understand the situation you are in and try to work your way around it. And for me, I see her as my little sister or even my daughter sometimes. And I try to baby her in a way. Yes. And so if you are a bully, it's not going to work.
Okay.
You understand? Especially because of how I see marriage. I see it as a partnership. So in a partnership, I don't have to necessarily take her as someone I need to push around. No, I need to understand her. She needs to understand me. And we need to work things out all the time. And then, even before I started dating her, a friend used to tell me a joke. He was like, Ebo, I'm not sure I'm not sure I'm ready to get married now because, I mean, it means I'm going to be the man of the house. And in being the man of the house, it means at 12 a.m., when someone is knocking at the door, I'm the one supposed to go and open. What if they are holding guns? So, I mean, those are things I kept thinking about, even though it was a joke. I mean, it was something I kept thinking about that. Charlie, what if someone knocks at the door at 12 a.m.? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But there are times when she goes out, she faces a challenge, and then she calls me. I'm like, why is she calling me? But I sit back and, okay, I'm a husband. I have to take responsibility. Yes. You get it. Sometimes that makes me feel good that, okay, she thought I could find a solution to her. That's why it could even go as far as she having a misunderstanding with someone. There was this time when she was going home. We usually go home together. She comes to pick me at work, and then we go home together. But this time, because I was going to stay late, she had to go on her own. And someone hit her car, and she called. She started talking. I was like, what's going on? I needed to understand what was going on. And I mean, at that moment, I was scared and worried. But thinking about it later, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm the man of the house. She has to call me. So it's been, that's why in the beginning I said it's a mixture of things. In one moment, it's quite tough because you are the man of the house. You have to do this. But after that storm is over, you just sit back and, especially if you were able to solve the problem, you sit back and you feel good about yourself. Yeah.
Amazing. Let's talk about, having said it, let's talk about responsibility when it first hit you. Because now, before that, you're a single man.
Yeah.
You had yourself to take care of. Now, you are together. Let's take us through that responsibility.
Yes. Being together, so there is that joy of waking up and having her beside me. There is that joy. But then again, you're not just thinking about yourself. You are thinking about someone in addition. So I always say in my mind that she's my first responsibility. I mean, or she's my first daughter. Let me say it that way. Because whether she eats, whether she has something to wear, it doesn't mean I buy all her clothes, but the fact that she's able to wear something, it means that I need to be responsible for that in a way.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if I'm not responsible and she has to use all her money to buy clothes, she can't use, or she has to use all her money to feed me. That means she can't buy clothes. She's going to look wretched. If she has to use all her money to do other things that I'm supposed to come in and help her with, it means that she can't take care of herself. So in taking care of herself, I should be able to take care of myself and take care of her. And I feel in her action, I feel she has the same mindset. And it's, in fact, even not just in her actions, she says similar things to me, that she needs to take care of me so that when I go out, people see me and then they feel like, yeah. So there was a time when I decided that I was going to lose some weight. And she was like, what if people see that you've lost weight and they think I'm stressing you? So that is something we are still negotiating on. But I mean, those are the things. Responsibilities are shared. Yeah. There are times when on Saturdays, I have to wake up early to go out, to do something, to create content, to do whatever. But before I step out, I need to make sure that I help her around the house, and then because she also has her own stuff she's doing. So what if she neglects the things she's supposed to do as a wife, and then also decides to go about her duties? So I'm not saying that we are having a perfect marriage, but at the end of the day, we all have to come to a compromise. Okay, you are going out. What time will you be coming back? I'll be coming back at this time. Of course, sometimes I go late, but at the end of the day, even if I'm going late, I need to communicate. Before, I didn't have to communicate or tell anyone that I was going to run late. And these are some of the things that help us to bond. Sometimes it causes little quarrels here and there, but at the end of the day, we come and then we get to understand each other and we move forward.
Right. Now, before we get into the actual meeting, let me ask this one. Before you go married, there are lots of misconceptions that men have about marriage because you are not in it. You hear somebody saying it. What is that one misconception that you, after entering into marriage, realize that no, this is not as people say it is?
Yeah, that's okay. I think, especially because I'm new into it, I'm going to be very careful with my answer. But but I think it has to do with money.
Okay.
Yeah, that as a man, your money is going to finish whatever.
Your money.
I mean, it's so not true.
Okay.
I see it as God has a way of blessing you when you decide to take that bold step. Because I wouldn't say that things are where I want them to be, but things have obviously gotten better. Opportunities keep coming, and she's also very supportive. Maybe it's because of the person I got married to. Yeah, she's very, very, very supportive. Yeah, so that would probably be the misconception that. And for me, before I got married, I don't like listening to or getting into spaces where there's a lot of negative vibe. So I'd laugh over it or not listen to it at all.
Yeah.
I want to experience it for myself.
Yeah.
So for the misconceptions, maybe the one that got stuck was the money bit, because something I was concerned about. But so far it hasn't been bad.
All right, fantastic. Now let's get into the main thing.
Yeah.
What must a man look out for before you ask a woman to be your wife?
It's quite a loaded question. All right, I think people look out for different things from all. Let me say, people have different criteria when they are selecting a partner. But for me, I was looking at someone who would understand what I want to do.
Okay.
Who would understand me as a person, and someone who I could build a strong friendship with. Because at the end of the day, when everything is gone, that friendship is what will bring you back together. And I found all these three things in one person. And I thank God for that. And then for you yourself, you should have some stability, because stability, it just makes things easier for you as a man. Because imagine you are not stable as a person. It could be maybe having a stable job. Or you don't have to have millions or anything, but you just need to be stable. You just need to be able to provide. I mean, you just need to be able to have something doing. Of course, life happens, but in the beginning, you should be able to do something. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if that is not there, that stability for self is not there, you are not able to extend it to your partner, and you are going to have a lot of friction in the beginning. Already, you having to live with someone new, it creates little problems here and there. And if you add instability to it, I mean, you are starting on a wrong footing. So those are a few things I think you should look out for. Apart from the things you are looking out for in her, there are certain things you should look out for in yourself.
Right.
Yeah, to be able to.
Now, we had a conversation in my office the other time about this thing. It's good you talk about money. This thing of 100, 100, 50, 50, 100, 0.
Yeah.
Now, you are in it, even though it hasn't been long, but you have experienced it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think everyone has what works for them. There are some people who don't want their wives to work. I mean, that's what works for them. There are some people who want 50-50. It works for them. For us, when there is a need, I do my best to provide, but sometimes if she's available, she does it.
Right.
Yeah. If I'm available, I do it. I don't say that, okay, this is something I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do it 100%. No. That's why I always say that it's partnership. Yeah. So it's not about me providing 100 or me providing 50 or 80%. It's about what we can both do to solve the problem at that particular point in time. Yeah. So I don't say that, okay, your tire is flat, so you should solve it because you're also working. There are times when she's her car is not washed, and she'll tell me that, okay, today go out with my car so that you can wash it for me. I mean, that is something I have to do. So yeah. And there are times when she buys her own food. There are times when I buy it for her. There are times when she fuels my car. I mean, it's just situational. You understand? Yeah. But there are certain things that I have decided that, okay, for this, I'm going to take it upon myself to do. So it's just we living together as friends, we being partners, and then going out. Especially when we go out on dates, we still go out on dates. When we do that, I decide that no, I'm not going to let her pay for it, because when we were dating, I was paying for all our dates. So I don't see why she should, because we are having a partnership, she's supposed to pay 50. No, I still do that. And there are certain basic things that I ensure that but there are people out there who have decided that 50-50 works for them. That's fine. I mean, it depends on what works for you as a
Fantastic.
family.
Now, you talk about stability, the man being stable, and I think it's a very important thing. Don't you think the woman too should be stable? That also helps make what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, for me, it has helped. Yeah. But then again, what works for you? There are men who want to take everything 100%. So for them, whether the woman is stable or not, they don't care. But to each his own. For me, was I looking for someone who was stable? The way I was living my life before I got married, it was difficult for me to meet someone who wasn't stable because I'm not that person who has a very active social life. So I'm not shocked that I married someone I used to work with, because it's usually work, home. Of course, I have friends. I go out a few times, but I hardly meet strangers. Let me put it that way. Yeah, unless it is work related or something. But when it comes to my social life, I hardly meet strangers. So that has been it for me. So to each his own.
Fantastic. Now, we hear counselors talk about the fact that love is not enough to sustain a marriage. It's one thing saying it, it's another thing experiencing it. You are in it. What's your thoughts on that? Would you agree to that?
Yes, I agree, because it's a young marriage, but we've had a few arguments, and you wouldn't tell me that when you are angry with someone, you still feel butterflies in your belly at that moment. No, you wouldn't. So at that moment when the love is not so loud, other things should be able to sustain it. So there are times where we are arguing, but I have to ask her whether she has eaten after work. Because it's not like at that point I'm so in love with her. No. And there are times when we are arguing, but she also comes to ask me whether I've eaten, when I'm going out, what am I wearing? She does it. So in that moment, the love is not loud, but in that moment you have to express the love, because no matter where you go, you're coming back. Like that is what we are building our foundations on. That no matter what happens, it's the two of us against the world, basically. So I agree when people say that love is not enough. Yes, I do. Of course, even though the marriage is young, I've seen a few things that I think should support that point, that love is not enough.
Now, let me ask you this question. I read something on social media I was discussing with someone. The man says that the man works in a corporate world, and the lady has built a business, a thriving business. Before they were dating, the business wasn't so much thriving. And now the woman's business is doing so well that the man says that, make me the CEO. Even though I'm in a corporate, make me the CEO, because the business is doing so well. They are making money more than me. So make me the CEO, so that, because I'm the man, and I'm the man of the house, so that people will see that I'm fronting this. And the woman says, no, I built this thing, and so I'm not going to do that. And the man comes down to say that, what kind of advice would people give to him, because he feels that the lady is really ungrateful, because he helped the lady build a business. However, now put my name and make me be a CEO. And he said no. What's your thoughts on that?
That's something I wouldn't do.
Okay.
I would even be happy if my wife is fronting something. She's the face of the brand she's building. I mean, my wife runs a fashion business and it's thriving. I see that it's getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think when it finally gets to that point, I would want to. There are things she even asks me to do for her brand in terms of certain management duties. But I ask her to do it because I expect her to take responsibility for what she has built. And then I expect her to own her victories when they come. Of course, I'm not going to sit back, put my hands behind my back and say that I'm not going to support. I support in the best way I can. And I help her when she needs it. But I believe I married someone who is a woman of her own, who can take strong decisions.
Yeah.
And those were some of the qualities that I saw in her that I really liked, that attracted me to her, because I was looking for those kind of qualities in a woman. Yeah, I wanted someone who was empowered to make her own decisions. So there were certain decisions she was making when we were in a relationship that I was like, okay, this is something that I should hold on to. So I wouldn't see a reason for me to start saying that, okay, let me own this thing because I am the man. It wouldn't make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, I want her to be somewhere as a big woman, people respecting her, and I'll be like, yeah, that's my wife. Yeah, I want to say that is my wife.
Yeah.
Going there. I want to be proud of her. You get it? So it's not something that I would do. Say that no, I'm the man, so I should be earning more. I should be no.
So you don't think men should feel insecure when their wives are making more than they are?
Not at all. Not at all. Once you are able to provide, or once you are able to perform your duties as a man, performing your duties is not all about you earning more. It's about those little things for her to see you as the man you are. Yeah.
I'm sure your wife will be smiling through the interview. All right. Now, I know in this part of the world, men's voice are not really heard. Because for one, when we talk, people judge us, right? How do you handle that now that it's partnership? How do you handle that when you're going through unity? Do you speak about it? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I do. Of course, I have to gauge the situation. Sometimes when the emotions are all over the place, you don't have to. Okay, I train myself in a way such that I don't speak out immediately because I want to manage my emotions and manage the kind of words that come out of my mouth. So even, it's not just to my wife, to every other person around me, I try to calm down and choose my words correctly. Because my words go ahead of me, you get it? So at the end of the day, if I'm not able to manage my emotions and certain words, not everything is forgivable. Even if it's forgivable, not everything can be forgotten. I keep saying this. So if I'm able to manage myself well and then come out and tell her, okay, you did this and I wasn't happy about it, or this is how I felt about what you did, it's better and I'm still hurt, rather than speaking out in anger. So yes, there are certain things that as you just can't go out and say exactly how you feel, because I don't agree with people who say "bema and soon," but I mean, there is a situation where your wife is crying and you're also going to cry. Who's going to console?
We both cry.
You get it. So sometimes you just need to let her be the vulnerable person, and then at the end of the day, later, maybe when you are both able to laugh about the situation, then you tell her how you feel. It should just come. You get it. It's such things are very difficult to say because you don't want to end up having to bottle up a lot of things as a man. At the end of the day, you just die. Yeah, okay, so and it's very important to have supportive friends. Yeah, people you can speak to. I am not a person who believes in sharing a lot of information about your marriage. And I don't think it is something I'll discuss with my friends. But if it is something else outside marriage that is eating me up and I can speak to my wife about it, yes. But if it's something that's eating both of us up, I'll let her cry. And then maybe I'll speak to a friend I trust, and he can console me in that moment. And later, when my wife and I are sitting and laughing about it, I'll speak to her. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, for most men, we are scared of commitment because men are scared to be, I for one, think that the reason why men date multiple women is because they are scared to be committed to one person. So then, if it's like a guy that I'm dating multiple women, but it's just because I'm scared, the person is scared to be committed to one person.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say to such a person?
It's a tough one, but it boils down to your personal values, right? Someone who likes to be committed to whatever I'm doing.
Right.
All right. So I feel like if I'm not able to commit to a woman or to one woman, it speaks to my value of commitment as a person. So it means that I can't commit to whatever I'm doing.
Right.
Because I feel like that commitment should run through everything that I do. And so for this, my answer is very short. As a person, what do you believe in? Yes, you should sit down and think deeply about your life and think deeply about your value system and say that, okay, me not being able to commit to one person, what does that say about me to myself? And put that against your values and say that, okay, this is me, Ebo. These are my values. So this aspect of my life, of my commitment journey, what does it say about the other things that I want to commit to or the other values that I ascribe to myself? And that is where you find your answer, whether you should go on and play around or whether you should, or I wouldn't say play around because there are people whose value systems allow that. So I wouldn't say play around, but for lack of better words, play around, and or stay committed to one person. And that's it. That should give you the answer.
That's a brilliant one. Because I actually think a man who commits to one person is a gentleman.
Yeah.
Right. Now, finally, to a young man out there who is planning to ask that one lady that, will you marry me? What is that one thing you tell that person, finally, to wrap it all up?
Oh, take that bold step. It's not easy. It's and it's not straightforward. But then again, it's not as difficult as people put it out there to be. So just take that bold step and go for it.
Thank you so much. I've learned. You've inspired me to get married.
All the best.
Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, in the words of Ebo, take that step. It's not as difficult as people are saying. But of course, everything he said in this video, play it all over again and make sure you are taking the nugget out. Make sure you are looking out for all of these things in your woman before you ask her to be your wife. My name is Enoch. This is Beyond the Surface Podcast.